Ah,
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Um,
there we go.
I want to let you start today because you're the one that was triggered by this topic. But this is so my jam. I love talking about this stuff. But what I'm curious why this came through for you today. Is what we should bring through.
Wait, you said that I was what by this topic?
What did I say? That you were like inspired by this topic, or like what made this come through for you today?
Okay, cool. So light activations, light strands, DNA, source code, all of this. I've been in this space of just feeling the artistry of creation itself and how we have all these tools and all of these codes and all of these symbols and colors and vibrations and frequencies of light to play with, and how powerful it is when we start to upgrade our system and call forth all these different codes. The full range of electromagnetic frequencies that are available to us. Diamond light, crystalline light, full rainbow spectrum of light, photonic, sonic frequencies, all of this. It's like we are encoding ourselves with new tools, new ways to paint and dance and play and sing, new sounds, new ways to create. And I feel like it's really important because when we call forth these light codes, it's data, it's all information. And so we receive the revelations and the downloads around creation itself and how we can create and play in this game. And so, yeah, so I was just feeling into the artistry that is the human experience and this expression of consciousness, because everything that we see before us is an expression of creative consciousness energy. And it's always just shifting and changing and transforming and evolving into new forms, into new designs. And we're doing this. So we're doing this with our own consciousness. So the more tools that we have, the more fun we can have and the more we can play with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that you just put it that way, the artistry, because
Mm-hmm.
that is just one of the major points that I really want to come across with all of this. To shift us more and more into states of empowerment, because there's still a lot of people who, with ascension or crystalline energy or getting downloaded with light codes, there's a sense of disempowerment to it. There's a sense of like, this is coming outside of myself and I'm needing this to wake myself up. I'm needing this as the next phase in my reality, phase to ascension. That this is like more powerful than me, that I need to be told how and what these are used for, are meant to be used. And that's the biggest thing I like to have come across when I activate people with these codes or these frequencies, is that this is just to help you embody more of you doing and creating whatever you want, getting out of your mind, getting into your heart, thinking beyond doubt, thinking beyond reasonable belief, thinking beyond what's already been created before, thinking beyond what you've always identified with. These codes, it's all already inside of you. I was just thinking about this today because I'm running that course right now, which is also going to be a part of the inner circle of the universal light codes. And I was thinking today just about some of the activations that are coming through and some things that I want to share with them. And what I really wanted to express was that it's not that we're activating you with these codes and these frequencies and these downloads. They're all already 150 million% inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that we're activating your perception of them already being there inside of you. So, because some people wonder, well, I did this with so-and-so, or I did these activations and nothing's changing, or blah, 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 blah. well, you need to keep doing them, and we keep getting these expanded awarenesses of these different codes and frequencies to reinstate the belief, to reinstate the perception, so we continue to bring that expansion down into this reality, this world that we live in, this being.
Yeah, what they're showing me right now too is to give it a visual representation. So imagine, you know, your cells are made up of atoms and photons and particles, and your DNA already contains this potential within it, and it's just dormant. So when we do the activations, it's literally just waking it up so that the light can emerge. It's all already there. It already contains your destiny blueprint, everything. It contains all of you, from origins to actualization and every expression in between. And so when it awakens, you get to see, what do I want to create from? What do I want to play with? What do I want to create and manifest in my reality? And having that self-awareness, awareness of self as all that is, as the one creator source energy. Yeah, so it's just, it's literally like a dormant sleeping. So this, when we get into spiritual lingo, talking about being asleep and being awake, it's just that energetic potential that's held within the cell emerging and coming forth so that you can express yourself, because that's the ultimate desire. That's how all of this light and all of this creation was born, was out of a desire to create. And so when you express, or to express the self, when you express, you are fulfilling your purpose, so to speak, when your creative expression emerges. And that all that requires is presence and beingness, and being who you are naturally, organically, what is inside of you, what is your essence wanting to express out in the world. And that's your gift, is just your beingness.
Yeah, exactly. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's not because there's anything right with you. It's not because there's anything that needs to be fixed. It's not because there's anything that needs to be shoved or pulled or anything. It's just allowing you to tap into more pure source creator energy. I'm just picking up on like a few ahas going on right now, on just almost like I forget the fact that this creator energy is what I'm all about, and I'm here to just express myself and be creative, and you know, like get out of need, get out of lack, get out of survival mode, get out of having to do things a certain way, get out of the systems, get out of the constructs, get out of the just the linear thinking, the linear time, like that. All of this is just like to break this up inside of you more and more and more, so you realize that, I mean, like, if you want to know any sort of purpose, any sort of plan, any sort of anything for any and all of you, it's just here to create what you want. It's just here to express. They're saying express out of control. Express out of control. Be out of control with your expression. Just unleash, unveil, go. That's the momentum that we're talking about. That's all of it. And so when you get downloaded with like new light energy or new codes or new frequencies, when you go through DNA activations, which is a lot of what you and I do with people one-on-one, it's just awakening the depths of your soul more and more into your physical presence. It's already there. So shift the perception from it's coming here and I need to like integrate, to knowing it's already here and I just need to allow it to radiate outside of me.
Yes. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's almost like a lotus unfolding or blossoming. It's just allowing your essence, allowing your song, allowing all that is truly you in your heart and your soul to come out and to emerge in every single moment, in every single situation. And I think, so there's a couple of things that I'm feeling in the energy right now. Is one, thinking that these activations are to improve you, or to fix something that is wrong, or to clear something that is not supposed to be there within you. And it's literally just to liquefy the energy so that it can emerge, so that it can come out, so that it's not contracted and dormant anymore. It's just to awaken the potential so that it can be utilized through creation, expressed in the world, creating physical form, taking action, things like that, but in a more artistic way than some of the fixed constructs that we've put around all of that. Just allowing the energy to awaken and course through you and be expressed. And another thing that's coming through is, let me see if I can feel back into this. There's nothing that you need to figure out or plan or fix or solve. So you've already been all expressions of creative source energy infinitely from the beginning of time to the non-duality of your existence as the interconnected, interwoven, one united energy. You have already been all of these things. You are only here to play and to be fully immersed in the moment that you're in. And so all the resistance that we create is resistance that's created by the mind trying to separate itself from the now, where all creation occurs and happens. And so if you're trying to identify where your resistance is, it's just where are you separating from the now and being fully connected to your heart, to your mind, your body, your environment, your relationships, the interactions that you're having, the food that you're eating, the things that you're enjoying in the present moment, and know that your full expression in the moment is enough. And all of that will piece together to form a larger picture. So it's very valuable to trust that, to just show up and allow your beingness, your natural expression to be enough, and allow that to lead you to the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And that is how destiny unfolds. That is how creation unfolds. It's just showing up to the moment in your full authentic expression, and then everything that you could possibly want to create will be created from that space. You've already asked for everything that you desire. Your soul knows everything that you desire. So at these expanded levels of creation, it's just about pure presence, pure beingness, pure self-expression, pure creative expression. And everything that you want will come as a result of that. See, that's receiving as well. As you course pure source energy, creative energy, clean energy, and you give that abundantly to the world around you, to yourself, all of that will return to you, and you will match up and align to the creation, the creative energy that you're vibrating at, your tonality, your song, the way that you move and dance and play. And you will align to the frequencies and the creations that match those tones, that harmonize with those tones, that are in resonance with those tones. So when you change your song, they're saying your whole creation has the potential to change. So you can even think of it musically. What colors are you painting with? What song are you singing? Is your heart speaking? And so not allowing your mind to take you into the place where it needs to figure out and sort out because it's anxious about whether or not its creation will come. And I'm being brought back to the example of, how would you feel if you had a magical genie that you could ask for whatever you wanted? Like, think magically here, feel magically. And you just had this beautiful treasure box of magic at your fingertips at all times. And you could just simply say, I would love to experience this next. How would you feel? How much excitement and exhilaration would that bring to you? And so then the key is to course that excitement energy, that exhilarated energy through your being, and focus it in the directions that you want to create in. And that is all. And so the joy and the excitement comes from knowing that that which you ask for will always, 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 always show up and always be created. So it's safe to live in that space and allow the frequency to work for you. Allow the frequency to work for you. It's one of the most powerful places to be in. This is where things start to drop in out of thin air, is when you are simply coursing the energy. And it doesn't matter if you are out with your friends and you're swimming and you're playing in nature, or you are at an event, or you're creating in your business, or you're serving your clients. As long as you're coursing that energy, it's working for you multidimensionally, because all areas of your life are interconnected through one unified field. So wherever you're coursing that energy affects all the other areas. So for example, me and Kedrick were having a conversation the other night, and we were in flow, and he had a bunch of requests come in for work. And it wasn't anything related to what we were doing or what we were speaking to, but it was showing up in that way simply because the energy was flowing. So the frequency, oh man, let that frequency work for you. You don't have to figure it out. And that's the exhilaration. My only job is to get in alignment with the frequency of pure source energy. That's it. That's it. How do I get myself into alignment with that clean, creative, free, liberated, expressive energy of beauty and magic and abundance? And that's it. And then you create. I mean, all the intuitive guidance that you need, your thoughts will start to line up when you're in that frequency. So instead of going straight to mindset work, you address the energy first and your thoughts will follow suit. And all of the guidance that you need to complete whatever it is that you're trying to bring into form will be shown to you, will be revealed to you. You will be guided. Synchronicities will line up to merge the non-physical with the physical reality.
Yep. Yeah. I love what Suzanne is saying. Well, for one, she goes, like Christmas every day. I'm like, yes,
exactly. Yes.
And then she says that she always feels like she's always felt like she was integrating. She does like the feeling of unleashing and radiating instead. And I think that's a really powerful shift in awareness to have, because there's just so much talk of getting downloaded, getting activated. Now I'm integrating. Now I have to embody. And there's just this like out and in process. But when you come from a space of knowing it's already in here and I just need to allow it to radiate even more and more, I will say when I had that shift in my perception and my physical awareness, a lot of my ascension symptoms started to fall off and everything got easier. When I took the awareness of rather, it's just like these outside energies coming into my body and I'm trying to integrate them. And I just took the awareness of it. You can't see where I'm pointing, but like around my stomach, like it's already right here. It's already right here. I just need to allow it to flow out. I need to shift and expand my energy and then allow myself to feel free and safe and relaxed and flowing and wild and just embody that energy. And I'm kind of thinking about, I'm being brought to speak on the energies over the weekend, primarily last week and over the weekend. How for most people, it's been very grounded. You're feeling rather human, not knowing what's going on, bringing up a boatload of emotional junk, all of that kind of stuff coming up for people, not sure what's happening, not sure what's going on. And in being called to just mention, yeah, it's okay and it's safe to still express those things when they are coming up, but make sure you're expressing them. I mean, for me, well, for one, I always have the awareness in the back of my mind that I'm not attached to this. I'm just releasing this. I'm just releasing this so I can embody more of that pure source light energy. And when I call forth that in my body, well, we're shaking it up. So whatever needs to come up is going to come up really radically. And so I'm prepared for that. But I had a screaming match in my car on Saturday because I just had all this energy. And I just needed to I did also spend like 6.5, 7 hours at a spa too, detoxing. So that brought a lot of stuff up for me. But the point I'm making is, even though that particular feeling and instance doesn't feel like this highly activated, amazing, pure source energy, it's still very important to express that because that was activated and is being lifted up out of you for whatever reason. So I screamed and then I cried and then I laughed and then I was all over the place. Yeah. I'm just totally different person, but that's okay because that's how my energy needed to be expressed so that I can show up today in that more pure creative state. So I think it's important. I'm just bringing that awareness up for so many of you who are attuned, aware, awakened, sensitive beings, and have been curious about that. And this is a lot of this is a very wonderful example of what you and I speak to on a regular basis, which is eliminating so much of that pendulum swing by just releasing and expressing however you're called to today. And I love that you bring up that conversation and what was going on with you and Kedrick, and then how all of a sudden you got a bunch of work come in, because again, today, you know, there's a lot of things I was called to do today, but I released my attachment to the outcome. I released linear thinking around them. I did A, B, and C, and then X, Y, and Z showed up totally unrelated. And that's that holographic thinking. That's that multidimensional experience. That's your DNA being activated and you living from it, because that's you just being a creator and expressing how you want to express, and then allowing yourself to receive that which you want to come in. It's not none of the mental agreements, arrangements, understandings of things matters anymore. It's really illogical. Just be magical. Just be a lunatic. Just be all of it. And that's kind of what I mean when I said the other day, make things have a certain meaning, just to get you out of that linear thinking and out of that attachment to things being set in stone a certain way.
Yeah, what people are really looking for, what you guys are looking for, if you're tuned in right now, just take a nice deep breath. And put your hand on your heart. And just let your mind be completely quiet for a minute. And relax. And feel your breath moving through your body. And feel the peace that is available to you in the present moment. The beauty that is available to you simply by dropping into your heart and letting your mind release all of the tension and all of the resistance that it is creating for you, trying to separate you from the now, trying to pull you out of the now. And it's doing this because it really loves you, trying to protect you, to keep you safe, to try to keep your life sorted so that you're always taken care of. You're always one step ahead of the game. You're always on the ball. You always know what's next so that nothing bad can happen to you. But the heart intelligence is so wise, and it knows that you are safe now. It knows that you are safe to be now and create now and to connect now. And so what you're looking for is the warmth of connection that comes by being in your heart center and connecting fully to the moment that you're in. Kind of like a child, being fully, deeply immersed in the moment. That is what you're looking for. There's so many ways that tension and that resistance can build up in our energy and in our field, and it's mostly by the mind trying to escape the moment. And it's interesting because inherently there's a fear of deep connection. It's the thing that we are most seeking. And it's also simultaneously our biggest fear is deep connection. What if I see myself fully? What if another being sees me fully? Will they love me unconditionally? And this is bringing me back to the emotional piece. Because I was speaking with a beautiful friend of mine the other night, and we went on a whole journey together. It was incredible. And we were talking, and we got to one point, and part of my own story came up that was needing to liquefy a bit. And he was seeing me very deeply, and I got tears in my eyes, and I could feel myself wanting to pull away. And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Because it hurts." So why does it hurt? And I just looked at him and I was like, "Oh, it doesn't. You're right. That's a story." Because of past experiences that I had had with people where the need to connect and the desire to connect wasn't really met, and so there was a part of me that was always trying to separate from going that deep into another being, and to allowing another being to see that deeply into me. It was really beautiful and profound because it was just fine, and my whole energy field just lit up. with warmth, and I'm seeing it now as just this big golden light emanating out. It was okay to just be in the moment and allow that to be enough, and to know that everything in creation has its own beauty. And even if I would have bawled my eyes out in that moment, he would have loved it. He would have adored that I was crying. He would have appreciated it, because that's the kind of man that he is. And he would have just let me be in my full expression. And that, those are the kind of releases. It's just where we are trying to exit the moment to get away from feeling that. But the thing is, it's beautiful. And so it's just the programs and the stories around that not being beautiful. And that's a release of sorts, because when we try to move away from having to feel those deep feelings, and that's why we try to escape the now, so we don't have to go that deep and connect that deeply and feel that deeply. And so when we pull ourselves out of the now, we distract ourselves from having to go there. But it's just another part of ourselves we get to express. And that keeps us kind of in a contracted state, that pulling away. But when we come into our center, when we come into that alignment with the heart, it's an opening and a release, as in, oh, wow, all this stuff that I've been trying to pull away from, all that tension that's been created, I actually relax, I open, and then it comes out, it emerges, it comes forth. And then allowing that letting go, that emergence to happen and be beautiful. Let it be beautiful. And don't think that you have to get rid of it, because it's part of the human experience, and it's part of the canvas. It's part of the multidimensional rainbow that we get to create from and experience in this human existence. And it's so beautiful. I mean, I don't cry very often, but when I do cry, it feels so good. It always opens my heart more and more and more and more. And I feel this sense of deep, deep appreciation and connection to the now. And so ultimately, some purpose is coming through. So linking back into earlier questions around, so what is our purpose? Your purpose is to be yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To be yourself, to embody yourself, to allow what needs to emerge in the moment that you're in, and this is why, and I'm sure it's the same way for you, Jen, but I don't ever have a plan when I go into my sessions. We do powerful activations, and we channel so much beauty and information through, and it's exactly what the person needs, because I don't know what they're going to need until I show up, but I trust my beingness, I trust my experience, I trust my awareness, and what has the potential to emerge from me in those spaces that we share together. And it's always exactly what they need for their next opening, their next expansion of self. And it's beautiful. And so I would invite everyone who's listening to practice being in that space yourself. Know that, and you can see this in different relationships that maybe aren't necessarily connected into work, but when you show up fully present, the synchronicities unfold, the magic unfolds. You can see the patterns and the reflections and the gifts, and everybody's there giving each other exactly what they need in the moment. And there's no pre-planning, before you go out with your friends, you don't plan what you're going to discuss. You don't plan what you're going to, maybe where you're going to go or something simple, but you just allow it to emerge. And that's what makes it so beautiful and magical. Right. And so that's just bringing me to the beingness is enough. Your expression is enough. Allow the gift that you are to be enough, and trust that.
Right. Right. Yeah. And what they were showing you while you were talking too is when you express some of those really, really deep human emotions, you're releasing hundreds of thousands of years of stress in your DNA. It's like a huge, that wave of relief you feel when you're done crying multiplied times every strand of DNA in your body. And that's why it is so important to go there with yourself and be comfortable with allowing yourself to explore those unknown, unexpressed areas that are wanting to come up with light and love, with like an explorative attitude, with I'm doing this. I may be feeling pain, but I'm still embraced in the arms of love and nourishment.
Mm-hmm. I think for me in those moments, there's like a sense of just abandon, like liberation. Like I don't have to have the story that it's not okay to be in that expression. That I can just unleash, like you were saying earlier, and express whatever it is that's coming up. So it's just the story around whether that's good or bad or okay. Is it a valid expression? Is it an acceptable expression? Well, fucking course it is. Mm-hmm. You are creation. You are valuable and worthy because you exist, because you are the creator source. And I think it's just liberating. It's freeing to go there and to express that, whatever it is, whether it's pain or anger or a letting go, or just because they're showing me like that stress you're talking about. It's just because it's been so contracted. And it's like, when you talk about like building walls and putting up your guard, and I mean, dear Lord, I had so much abuse growing up that I was naturally on guard all the time, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even have a menstrual cycle until I was 30 years old, because I was so guarded, because I always thought that there was going to be like some kind of physical something that was going to violate my space. And I didn't even realize it. I got so used to it until I started really just letting myself have freedom of expression and all of that. It was just like, I'm just seeing like bricks, like Mario, like running through a brick wall, and like all the bricks start to come up. It's like just busting through that shell, busting through that contraction, releasing the stress and opening up into full expression, letting the light that is there emerge from the core of your being. And so it's even like sleeping and wakefulness. It's just like, oh, I've been groggy all this time. I've been like walking around in a half daze all this time, holding it in, suppressing myself, repressing myself, telling myself a story about how joy is better than pain, and how, you know, all of this, when really I could have just unleashed and let it all out and liberated myself the whole damn time. But I was so connected to these stories that we have running culturally and through the conditioning. I mean, I just had to do it for myself at some point. I was like, fuck it. I actually just don't care what society thinks. I don't care what the stories are. I don't care about any of that. I'm doing this for myself. I'm setting myself free. And so it's really beautiful when that starts to take place. And there's something else, if you have anything.
Well, Faye is just, one, I love Samantha's also agreeing with us, and that's how she works with her clients right now as well. There's absolute no plan. She just trusts in the moment. And that's 100% what comes through for me as well. So I love that. And Faye is asking, what if you're around family who isn't allowing themselves to be, who are in cycles of negative thought habits, stress, and external distractions? And I know you'll have some powerful words of wisdom for that. What's coming through for you in particular is you are the one. You are the one in control of your reality, in control of your perceptions of truth, of what is real and what is not real. And I'm being taken back to a personal experience I've had where I've literally had someone along those lines, or who I've perceived along those lines, shift completely right in front of my eyes in the middle of our conversation, in the middle they walked through the door, just totally almost just making me very aware of the judgments I've been placing on them, on how they experience life. Because as much as we consider ourselves multidimensional beings and waking up to the light and shifting and evolving, we must allow our perception of others to not be so set in stone as well. Even if somebody's shown up in your life the same way for 25 years, 30, 40, 50, you have to be willing to see them show up in their light as well. And you must also understand that you are the beacon of light that radiates the sun, the stars, the galaxies, the love, the joy, the presence, the emotions. I mean, that is you. You are here to be who you are. Nobody else can take that away from you. and you're not here to change them as well. So neutralize yourself from the distraction as much as you can, and allow yourself to even challenge yourself. They're saying challenge yourself to see the good in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what was coming through for me too. The first thing that came up was love them, and also give yourself enough space and solitude where you can kind of decompress and create space around all of that energy that's swirling around there in that situation, and see them as they truly are. See them from your heart. Listen with your heart. Hear from your heart. Go beyond the appearance that you see, and love them, appreciate them, allow yourself to be the beacon in that situation. When you show up and you give love to a person who is hurting and in pain, you give them an opportunity to learn that it is safe to open and to trust. And also, you need to take care of you and do what is right for you and authentic and true to you. And that's where that space is really necessary, to give yourself some time in between those connections to kind of decompress and get quiet and tune into your own heart and soul, so that you can come back into those situations refreshed. So I'm hearing doses. Surround yourself in those frequencies in doses. Like, you don't need to always be immersed and enmeshed in that dynamic if it doesn't feel aligned to you. But when you do show up, give them your authentic heart.
Yes. Yeah, and don't be afraid to stay in your power and create boundaries for yourself. You may only be able to sustain being in your heart or seeing them in their wholeness for 30 minutes a week, 30 minutes a month right now. I mean, whatever it is, and that's okay. That's okay. Just let that be okay, because it kind of goes back to the whole thing of if you're giving, and you're never giving to yourself, are you really giving anything at all, right? So at least you're showing up with them 100% when you are there, rather than depleting until you can't take it anymore. I mean, even if you live with them, even if it's someone you live with, do whatever you can to just, I need to be alone right now. I need to be alone today. I can't speak with you today. I need to move out for a few weeks. I need some space. I need some time. It's okay. It's okay. Because they're going to value and appreciate the connection they have with you that much more when you do show up fully and authentically, clearly as who you are, as light and love.
Mm-hmm. Charge yourself first, they're saying. I mean, and this is for everybody who's listening. Charge yourself first. Fill yourself first. Go into solitude, empty your mind, go into the forest, go to the ocean, whatever you need to do to rebalance and open and align yourself and charge yourself and get yourself in a nice grounded centered space. Do that for you first, always. Yeah, it's really important, because if we're bombarded by too much stimulation for too long, that's when those eruptions occur. It's just like, I've had so much stimulation for so long. I haven't had a break. I haven't been able to clear my mind. I haven't blank. And that is our responsibility to do that. And even if you're experiencing some, like, a full range of emotion in that situation, which I imagine you are, I'm sure there's times that definitely press your buttons. That's a beautiful gift of the solitude too, is you can express that energy and get it out. I mean, I'm a huge dancer and stomper. I mean, tribal dance. And so it's a really powerful way for me to express energy. Anything that I'm feeling or anything that feels pent up. So that's something that you could do as well, instead of allowing it to turn into a projection or an argument with somebody else.
Right. And that's powerful to bring up too, because when you do things that just move the energy through you, rather than sitting down to journal about it or sitting down to just stay more in the story about it, it'll just shift that much more quickly for you.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, here, the whole point is to release all the fucking stories. for all of us. Like the whole creation will make sure that you get shaken clean to your core, I promise. Whether you're volunteering or not, all the stories have to go for you to be in your full expression. Because at some point you realize that it's just about being purely present and pure and fluid in the moment and connected to the moment. And there are no stories. I mean, this is when we talk about expansion and expanding into our higher self, our most expanded version. This is a total presence, absolute presence. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to use your mind as a tool, or that you're not going to think, or you're not going to make plans or use your logical mind. I mean, I would say I'm a very intellectual person in as much as I use my mind a lot to do things and to create things. It's one of my most powerful creative tools. But just make sure that it's not becoming a distraction or a story or something that's trying to separate you from using it as a tool, as a point of focus in the present moment in which you are creating, as a thing to allow you to go, oh, what is wrong with me? Or why did this happen? Man, when I look at the big fucking picture of things, of creation, and then I look at some of the stuff that we're caught up in as humans, I just want to take a massive, it's almost just like a freaking waterfall of light from the skies to just come in and break it up and liquefy it and just go, it's safe to be present. It's safe to be fluid. It's safe to express yourself. It's safe to be here now, to be in your heart, to let yourself emerge. To be. It is safe to be. You are an infinite, multidimensional being. You will continue on forever and ever and ever and ever. And all those things that have you in fear and anxiety essentially are so unimportant when you look at the big picture of things. They're so unimportant. There's some of the stuff that we get hung up on, or the ways that we tell ourselves that we're not worthy. They're just clear, delete. It's not true. You are an expression of creative energy, raw potential, light, sound, vibration. You are a work of art, a masterpiece. Go beyond the story. Allow that to leave your consciousness. Get in your body. Do something creative. I mean, that's really what this is about here. This is about waking up to who and what we are as the creator, as creators. This whole life is about magic and art and expression and play, really. And all the other things that keep us just so contracted and so weighed down and so heavy. Just fuck it. Let yourself break free from those shackles and those chains and go, you know what? I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to create. I'm going to play. What do I want in my life? Okay, cool. What do I need to do to create that? Let's do that. That's it. You just start focusing the energy into what it is that you want to create. And then once you make that decision too, all the other universal energies will start to flock to support you. They will start to come together to move in that direction to help you create the thing that you want and you desire. And that's the magic of it. You are not separate from any part of yourself. And another thing that's coming up for Faye as well is that, so we're just going to open and expand your awareness to the perception that they are you. They are you. Your family is you. How would you treat you? How would you love you? How would you honor and respect you? And this can be a challenge for us sometimes too, in recognizing that. And this is where the integration of our wholeness comes in, of the light, dark, all of that. All the different, I'm going to call them different expressions of creative source energy, because to me, there's no, I mean, we use light and dark often, but it's not even light and dark. It's just creative intelligence. It's expressing itself in different ways, strange ways, weird ways, vibrant ways, benevolent ways, kind ways, sweet ways, but all kinds of different ways. And we are that. Everything is an expression of that energy. So even to take off the light and the dark, and to have an appreciation for the beauty of all of it. You know, I was looking up at the sky on Saturday. I was at my friend's, and we were laying by the pool, and I was just looking at the clouds, and I was thinking, I'm sure they were from some kind of, I mean, they were artificial clouds. They weren't like the big white fluffy ones. They were long trails, and they almost look like they were kind of like a supernatural intelligence, like an alien intelligence of some kind. And I was tuning into the energy of them. I'm like, what are those? Like, what are those? What are those clouds actually, aside from like all the chemtrail stories and all the labels and things that we've put on them? I'm like, what is that? And what came through was like, it's just a supernatural alien intelligence. It's a different expression of creative source energy. I was like, oh, that's really cool. It was kind of strange. Like the frequency behind it was kind of odd. And that's like ways that these different intelligences are coming onto our planet, you know, is through all the things that we're like, no, none of this, none of that. This is horrible. And I mean, I'm not going to pick sides on any of that because I can see the yes and the no to all of it. And I'm very well informed on all of it as well. But they're just different expressions of the energy. And that's all that it is. And so they're showing up in a different expression of the energy, because that's how much of themselves they are aware of at this current point in time. That is how conscious of who and what they are at this present point in time. And yeah, they may be clinging on to some stories and putting limitations on themselves, which causes them to project limitation onto you. But you don't have to buy into the story. You can, you know, a beautiful tool in those situations that I use often, I listen. And I don't really engage a whole lot. I just create the space to listen. And then you can see crystal clear what's going on within them. And you don't have to get your energy all entangled up into it.
Yep.
Just recognize that we're all at different points of remembrance. What they're saying is just remembrance of remembering what we are, who we are as the one unified consciousness. I mean, at the beginning of all of this, there was a desire for that one unified energy to start individuating itself through light, sound, frequency, and to express itself in different ways so that it could explore itself and to see how capable it was of creating different things, expressing in different ways. It was just all about exploration and painting and artistry. And I'm just going to keep putting it in those terms because that's exactly what it is like and was like and will continue to be. And it's the same thing for us now. It's just that we've allowed our mind to create all of these stories that we have become fixed. And so we don't allow ourselves to be fluid creators. Like you think when you're painting, the best art comes through whatever it is when you are in your own flow, like when you're dancing. Choreography is great and all of that, but if you're like an artist, and you know this, if you sing or if you do any of that, you flow and you let your natural organic expression emerge, and that is the gift. That like a tree isn't thinking to grow, like all these different ways that we can speak to this. It's the same thing with us. Like you don't have to think about being yourself. You just be your natural organic expression, and that's the gift. That is the art that adds to the creation, that adds to the picture, that adds to the painting. And we're talking about the painting of life now on a bigger scale. You are just adding your beauty to that, and that's all that this is really, just awakening to that and letting it come forth.
Yeah, and what they're reminding me too is just to say, let your soul do the work. Trust your soul. Trust your soul's frequency. I mean, you don't have to think about the way you need to be being. You don't have to. And as we're talking, I'm being reminded of some of the most powerful manifestations in my life, or things that have happened for me. They're almost like I didn't even know that I wanted it, and then it showed up, and it's like, oh yeah, I that was better than what I have been asking for. That was beyond what I've been asking for. This is amazing. This is perfect. Like, I'm great. When those have happened, I didn't do a thing. I didn't do a thing. I was just being myself, hopping around through life, playing, allowing my heart to be open, and letting my soul guide me and let my soul do the work. Because when things like that happen, it's very soul fulfilling. It's very soulful. It's very like you just have that vibe or that connection with that thing or that experience or that person. So it's like my soul just did all of that. And that's what's coming through for all of you as well. Whoever's listening, is just let your soul be. Just let your soul do the thing. You don't, and again, I'm saying this, and you don't have to think about it. It's happening naturally already.
Yeah.
It's not happening when you start to think really hard about how you need to create. Yeah. So just stop doing that. Just a little and you're good, and you'll have everything. And speak to your soul, speak to your DNA, speak to your cells, speak to your organs, speak to your higher self, your child. Just allow that communication. It sounds silly, but if you just start doing it on a day-to-day basis, like, I love you, inner child. I love you, soul. I love you, 12 strands of DNA. I love you, blood cells. I love you, atoms. I love you, crystalline light energy. I love you, breath. I love you, lungs. I love you, skin. I love you. I mean, there's been over the years such an emphasis on giving gratitude to all of the outside things, but how much of an emphasis has been placed on going to the core of your human body, the core of your intelligence?
Uh-huh. That'll actually change our physical appearance as well.
It
Yeah.
will. I'm telling
Uh-huh.
you. I need to start documenting just because I think it'll be fun. But there's
Yeah.
proof out there.
Uh-huh. It's profound. And they're saying too, like, so we keep saying to come out of your mind and into your heart, but what we want to communicate as well is to get into your feeling body, feel yourself, feel your breath, feel your whole body and the movement of your body. So, and then allow that to channel through your heart up into your mind, instead of trying to figure things out in your mind and then trying to course that through in the action. Like, get into your physical body, feel yourself, feel your experience, feel your life. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the energy. You're looking for the frequency of connection to feeling, connection to experiencing. You're looking for that real visceral feeling sensation. And so this is an invitation to all the men who are watching as well. Come out of your mind and get into your feeling body, your physical body. There's nothing for you to figure out. Trust that, and that what is needed to come through the mind comes through the feeling of vibration. The feelings translate the information to the mind. So this is great. So we're going to talk about, just real briefly, when we do these activations and that light starts to emerge, the frequency that is the light, the data that is contained in the frequency, is what transmits the information to your mind. And this is how Jen and I channel. And this is how anybody channels. We're not tapping into something out here. We're getting into that feeling state, and then the vibration gives data to us, and then that is what emerges. It's not thinking in the mind of what to channel through. It's literally the vibration is what is communicating the information, the data. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same for like the direction of our life and what to do next. It's your feelings. Oh my God, they're such a powerful compass. And I say this all the time, your body is the most powerful psychic tool, because it's your feelings. They will tell you. There's so much information in them. Just listen to yourself, get in there. And don't think too fucking hard about it. Go skip, go for a run, go jog, go play. You know, I went to the river the other night and did hopscotch. It's great. Just,
I love it.
Yeah, just like, that's it. Just play, literally. I mean, that's when some of my biggest manifestations have come through too. When I've literally, because I mean, I naturally just get glued to whatever it is that I'm working on. And there was a time where I just was like nonstop. And there was one day, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to set all of this down today. I don't give a shit what's going on. I don't care what I have planned. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go play. And really powerful manifestations came through that day, because I just walked away from the thing for a bit and just, yeah, I went and did my thing, like you were talking about, where you just hop through life and you skip and you play. And some people, and because I'm feeling this, I'm hearing it too, there's some people who don't want it to be that easy, because they're so addicted to their story of struggle. They're so addicted to the idea that they have had to work so very hard to create these things. And then here come along these new beings, these millennials, these all of this, that are just magicking their way through life. And it's true. And that's because that's what we're here to do. And it's a hell of a lot more fun. And it's possible for all of us to do that. When you release the story that it has to be difficult, then it has to be anything more than being connected to yourself in the moment, being connected to your soul's resonance and frequency, and then gifting that to the world. And just let it be that easy. Can it be that easy? And then everything else falls into place, clicks into alignment in a bigger, bolder way than your mind even has the capacity to conceive in the first place. So, I mean, I think there has to be a recognition of that, even to the logical mind here. You have to understand that universal mind, your expanded self, holds all perspectives. Your uh, your mind, I mean, you can still access that information, but your capacity to perceive in that way in all moments simultaneously is different when you're inhabiting the human body. And so that's, when we talk about surrender, that's what you're giving up to the higher self, the expanded self, the need to know what it's all going to look like. It's so much more profound than you could even begin to fucking imagine for yourself, than you could even begin to piece together with your mind. And you'd say, I would like to experience this or greater. I mean, that's what I do now, because I want this or greater. And those things always still come. Like, you don't have to, the thing that you've asked for, like your soul already wants, your soul has already asked, your expanded self already knows exactly what you want. So now it's just about, can you be in the frequency? Can you let the energy work for you? Can you trust the resonance of your soul?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So simple. So simple.
So simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Christine's just really quick. Christine's asking, do you think the likelihood of manifestation is possible through just playing? I'm wondering only because I've put out so many offers and I'm trying to let go of how the money will show up, the manifestation of the home and everything else. So it'd be so fun to have. And again, I mean, let's be realistic here. How much of your energy is completely in play around those things, Christine? Or is there's some need, there's some attachment, there's some, and I know that's very mind-boggling, especially when we're talking about things that we relate to our survival, like a home, shelter, money, so we can eat, pay our bills, things like that. And that is the challenging thing with these energies. And that is why we are put in such situations, is to realize that we will survive anything, that your survival mechanism is your soul. Your soul's not going to let you kill yourself. I'm not even going to get into that discussion. Like, let's not play devil's advocate here. Your soul's not going to let you kill yourself. It's not going to let you die. It's not going to let you have to go camp out in the woods unless you really deep down inside actually want that as a way to experience you finding yourself and empowering yourself. I mean, just like our conversation with Kedrick last week, he used to put himself out in the wilderness with absolutely nothing because there was a part of him that just really wanted to experience that and learn that and find his strength and through that way. And that's a beautiful thing. And she says, yeah, there's some need and fear for sure. I'm trying to relax around them as much as I can. Yeah, just keep relaxing. Just keep telling yourself, reminding yourself of when you've been in situations before and how in hindsight they weren't that bad. How in hindsight the money showed up the next day when you thought you weren't going to survive. The home showed up the next day when you just didn't know. I mean, remind yourself of those experiences. I'm sure you've been through some of them before. But we're just really super McDuper called to be in love, light, and joy and trust with absolutely everything. And that is why so many people are having situations break down like that in front of them. So you release the attachment and just know that, yeah, miracles, exactly, Yolanda, miracles are the thing. So the likelihood of manifestation through just playing is very possible. And it is the most, it's the I don't even have words. The likelihood of it, it's guaranteed. That's all I will say, is it's guaranteed if you actually let yourself let go that much. And the freedom, the liberation inherent in that trust, because what you're saying is I trust. And the only reason that you create experiences where you have to experience the fear and the anxiety is so that you can learn how to trust more, so you can learn how to let go, relax, open up, play. That's a let go. It's just like fucking let go of all that shit that you're carrying and let yourself just go, you know what? I trust the universe. I trust my expanded self. I trust all of consciousness to support me in the manifestation of this desire. And what I'm doing right now doesn't seem to be working. So what the hell do I have to lose? And it's not being irresponsible to play. I want to address that right now because I can hear some people. It's fucking courageous. It takes a lot of guts to set down your fear and your anxiety and all of that
intense weight and heaviness and seriousness, and just open up to what is possible for you here. I mean, think about some of the revolutionary artists who have ever come and gone. They just showed up in their full expression. They did crazy things. They created crazy things. They just were their full, beautiful, full-blown self. And in the space of play, what will also happen is you'll start to get more creative inspiration, more inspired ideas, more ways that you can channel and focus that energy through action and into form. But when you're holding on to all of that, it kind of limits the amount of inspiration that you can receive. You want to let the energy be fluid and open, so the play will open you up. It'll help you to tap into new revelations, new ideas, new action steps to take, new guidance, all of that. And so it's not like you just run around and play all day long because I hear a couple of people too around like oh, well, you just play and everything that you want shows up, right? So it's ultra logical thinking. What we're speaking to here is when you open up and you allow yourself to play, when you inhabit the energy of play, you're still doing other things. You're still engaging in other things. Yes, you might actually physically be playing, but your business also becomes play, and your relationships become play, and your life becomes a big playground in which everyone is authentically expressing themselves. And that's one of the most fruitful energies to occupy. Fruitful as in abundant, as in things will manifest faster than you can even believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So good. So beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm thanking you for your I'm thanking you for that, but I'm thanking you for you being beautiful you and galactic you.
Thank you for being magical you. You inspire me so much every day just by being in your natural energy and your state of being.
Ditto. I always see like neon lights and stars just like zipping around, and I freaking love it because it's just so clean and pure, and it's just like, yep, this is it. Creator energy, sparks flying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you want to add today?
No, I feel pretty complete, and yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll naturally channel an activation through whenever it's time to do that. But yeah, just know that this is all about creation and fun and play and smells and colors and sounds and tones, and just let yourself be in the feeling of the experience, be in your body, let yourself dance through life, let yourself play and paint and create and express, and trust that as you give the gift of you, the gift of abundance the abundance of yourself to the world, that abundance will flow back into you.
Exactly. And speaking of that, we have the Inner Circle coming up. It's starting on November 1st. It is a 3-month transformational, beautiful Sacred Circle program that we have called forth for 8 beautifully aligned women to join us, to come dance, play, sing, and create in their magical abilities to release any sort of struggle, any sort of impediments on their next level of expansion, anything that is causing creation for you to be difficult or stagnant. We're getting rid of all of that, and we're just playing in self-love and magic and beauty and joy and energy, and it's just gonna be so amazing. So if you're interested in joining us in that, we'll put the links below, or you can reach out to either of us personally and we can talk to you more about that. And
yes, I just want to like pull forth the magic of that. And you guys, if you're like everything that Jen just said, like being a part of this container, I mean, those moments in your life when you're just so aligned and you're so in tune and everything is flowing and there's synchronicity everywhere and you're connected to your heart and you're just connected to life and you're living in this magical dimension. Things can be like that for you all the time. I actually have a special announcement that I want to make probably in a week when I know the dates for certain, like a really huge magical manifestation that recently just came through for me. And it's just, this is available to all of us all the time, to play in that space and to let go into that space and to exist within the magic of life, in the miracles of life. Miracles are natural. They're not happenstance. Serendipity is natural. All of this on a daily basis. constantly. And this is the space that we want to invite you into to live from, so that your heart is lit up on a daily basis, so that your soul is lit up on a daily basis, so that you know how to create miracles for yourself and the people you love too. I mean, just all of us connecting to one another when we have these talks. Even like when I connect to my clients or my friends or you or Kedrick, like we were just all enhancing each other and creating more because of our group energy, because we're combining our frequencies, and it just amplifies the amount of magic that manifests for all of us. And that's the beauty and the power of coming together in that group setting. It's just which is stuff that nobody's planning for, no one's even calling forth. It's like, oh wow, this really huge thing just manifested, and it's like my dream opportunity, this the dream experience that I've always wanted to have. And it's just by everybody coming together with their magical energy. And that's when you're manifesting from soul. That's beyond the mind. That's soul going, I know that you really, really want to have this experience, and here you go. And so that's what we're inviting you guys into. So please do join us. We, like Jen said, we'll drop the links in the comments, and feel free to reach out to either one of us. We love you. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. If you have any questions, just let us know so we can address them or show up and ask live. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and creating magic with us.
Oh, yeah. We love you.
Yeah. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.